Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you all here with me today. So today I'm going to show you how to make an easy no-sew glue book / junk journal cover. Super easy, and I will show you several different ways that you can bind this. So you have lots of options. So let's get started with that. It'll be so much fun. You guys will be shocked at how easy this is. I have shown this before on my channel, but I love making these, so I wanted to make another one. So I'm using a Cheez-It box, and I'm just going to open it up, and then you'll always see on your boxes right here is where it folds over. So I'm just going to open that up there too, on the side piece. Now you can use any box, cereal box, any kind of food box you want. You just want to make sure it's the size that you want. Now each of these panels right here, let me look again here. I think they're 6 inches. Yeah, they're just about 6 inches. And then the spine here is about, well, it depends on where I put it. It's close to 2.5, but I'm going to actually make my spine smaller. So we'll go over all this. These are the papers I'm going to use for my covers. So let's move that. Now that we have our box open, what I'm going to do is cut around all of the edges, leaving just this panel, and the middle. None of this other stuff. I'm also going to be cutting inside, well, I don't want to show right there, inside this little lump right here of where it folds. Otherwise, you'll just have this little bump on the edge all the way around, and that's annoying. So I'm going to cut right inside of that. And I'm just going to use my paper trimmer for this. You can use an X-Acto knife. You can use scissors. Use whatever you feel the most comfortable with. So I'm just going to butt this right up against that line there and just cut that off, just like so. And then I'll do the other side. I think for the sides, I will use my X-Acto knife. And I'm just going to butt my ruler right up against that edge, just like I did with my paper trimmer. Okay. Just like so. Get that out of here. And we will just repeat for the other side. There we go. So now we have our journal cover. I'm just kind of folding it like this to make sure that it lines up. And we're even. And we do look even. Okay. Now, if you want to keep your spine this big, you absolutely can. I would take this piece that you have here and cut it down so it fits right inside the middle here so that you can make this a little bit bigger. But I want to make my spine smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my, well, I'm going to line it up on the bottom here. Okay, and I can see that this would be the middle of my spine. So I'm going to cut my spine in half. I know it seems scary, but you'll see. It'll be fine. Okay, so cut it in half. So you are going to glue one on top of the other, and I'm going to put my line right before where it bends to fold, because if you put it on this or over it and you glue it, you won't be able to open and close your book. So you want to glue it right before that little lump where it's folded. That way you can still open and close your book. So we are going to do that right now. Now you can use glue, double-sided tape, all the above. I'm going to use my art glitter glue because it is a strong hold and it dries quickly. Get it on there. And then put this right up against there. Okay. Wipe off any excess glue. Okay. Make sure you can still open and close your book, and I can, so I've got it lined up good. Just kind of fold that over. You can use your bone folder, you know, really squish that glue down, turn it over, give it a nice squish. Okay, then you open it up, and now not only is my spine now smaller, it's just a little over an inch, it's also double thick. And that's what you want for this no-sew project. If you just left it the way it was, your spine could probably buckle a little bit, and you don't want that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is line up on my cutting mat my half of my signature, or half of my book. I'm going to line it up. And I know that when I fold an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in half, it'll be 5.5 inches wide, which is why most people, when they make their junk journals or their glue books, they make their cover usually about 6 inches wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can see mine is just a hair over 6. So I'm going to cut that down to 6 inches. You could leave it. It doesn't matter. You'll just have more space on the edge there. So I'm going to cut this to 6 inches. And then I'll just turn it around because it's easier. And I'm just lining up where the spine starts on my cutting mat, because that's where I know this piece, like right where it starts. I'm going to line that up. Okay. So now I want to cut this one to 6 inches. So I'm cutting about 1/4 inch off each side. Again, you could mark this with a pencil and then just cut it with scissors. That would be totally fine as well. Okay, so now we have, let me just rip that little piece of paper off. Now we have our glue book cover. Now we have our sides are both 6 inches wide. Both of these are 6 inches from here to here. And the other thing is with this box, it is not quite 8.5 inches high. So let's look here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is about 8 1/4, which means I'm going to have to cut my paper down a little bit, and I'm totally fine with that. So if you want to make sure with your box beforehand is tall enough for what you want and wide enough for what you want. I'm cool with that. I only have to cut off a little bit. And if I'm using like a digital from an Etsy shop and I didn't print it all the way to the edge, you know how there's always that white border. When I cut that white border off, it fits in here real nice, real perfect. Okay, real perfect. Wow. Okay, here we go. Now the fun part, we're going to add our paper. Now, because this is 6 inches and this is 6 inches and this is a little over an inch, about 1 1/4 inches, I'm going to need 2 pieces of paper. And so I'm going to go with this 12 by 12 inch scrapbook paper. It's a little thicker than regular scrapbook paper, but not quite cardstock. So I'm just going to lay these down and overlap them a little bit. So let's see, do I want to overlap these by 2 inches, or let's see, how much would I? Yeah, I probably don't need to overlap 2 inches. I could probably just overlap 1. Okay, I'm going to overlap this by 1 inch. So I need to glue these 2 papers together. So I'm going to grab my glue stick and I'm going to glue a 1 inch line here. You can use all kinds of paper to do this. You can use wrapping paper. You can use a brown paper sack. You can use all kinds of stuff. You don't have to use scrapbook paper if you don't have it. Okay, so we got those glued together so that we now have one bigger piece of paper. Where did my bone folder go? Anybody know? Here it is. Okay, I just want to really make sure I get those together there. Now, This will get glued on here, but I want to leave a good size border all the way around. So what I'll do is leave almost an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch all the way around. You can leave 1/2 an inch if you want, but I find it's a little easier to just have, you know, 3/4 of an inch all the way around. So now we need to attach this to our paper. So I'm going to use my glue stick. So I'm just going to turn this way. And I'm going to use my glue stick and I'm going to adhere this to the paper. Okay, now that I have this covered in glue, I'm just going to turn this over and set it down on my paper. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you know, do your best. Okay. So I'm just going to smush that all down. Okay, now I'm just going to take my scissors, because that is easier, and I'm just going to cut this off right here. This paper I will save for something else. And we'll do the same over here. Now, when you're doing this, I do suggest using more of like a scrapbook paper versus a cardstock, because sometimes cardstock can be a little too thick and it can kind of crack and stuff like that. So maybe try using more of a lightweight paper. So I'm just kind of going through here, giving this a nice fold right where my crease is going to be. Creasing that up a little bit. Okay, you're almost done. So the next step is I'm going to take my box here and I'm going to take the corner here and I'm going to cut a little notch out, and you just do that by going at an angle like so. And you'll do that on every corner, just a little angle here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Do your best, but if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to be staring at your book. And if they are, rude. I mean, if they're staring at it in a mean way, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so now I cut out all those little corners. We'll just toss that. Okay, now this next step I find to be very helpful. Go through and use, I'm gonna actually use my pen here. Go through here and score your paper right where you're going to fold it, like right along these edges, because it'll make folding it so much easier. So score it first, then fold it over, give it a press, and then move on to the next part over here. We'll do the same thing. I'm just going to go right along here. I'm just scoring it. You can use your bone folder. You can use the back of a butter knife. You know, anything that you can kind of move along this without actually cutting through it. Okay, so now I'm folding it up, making sure that my paper is butted right up against that cardboard box. I don't want any loosey-goosey paper there. Okay. All right, and just repeat that all the way around. This will help your edges be super crisp, super clean, and you will thank me later. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, now my paper is going all over the place. I'm getting excited. This is so fun. I love making these. I can make these all day long. Oops. Okay, here we go. Okay. I know this seems tedious, but it'll make everything so much better. Okie dokie. Now, when you open this back up, you'll notice you have these lines right here where your spine is. I actually really like cutting out a little bit of this area right here. You don't have to if you don't want to, but see where the score line is right here? Because that's where these lines are of your spine. I'm just going to cut a skinny little triangle outside of that score line on either side of it. Just a slim little slice. And the reason why I'm doing this, you don't have to do this, But the reason why I'm doing this is because when you fold this up and the paper's right here, that offers a lot of bulk into your spine and it makes it kind of hard for it to open and close. So, you know, you don't have to do this, but you absolutely can. And I'm going to, just because I feel like it helps my book open and close better. But again, you don't have to. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now we're going to glue down our edges. You can use double-sided tape for this if you want. I am going to use my art glitter glue for this just because it's quick and easy and it dries fast. Sometimes I use a combination of double-sided tape and glue, but for filming purposes, I'm just going to use glue today. I'm just going to start here, pushing in the middle, rolling it up to make sure that my paper is right up against that edge. You guys can totally do this. Beginners can do this. Just take your time, pause the video if you need to, but I promise you, you can do this. And if it doesn't turn out perfect your first time, oh well, nobody does anything. Well, that's a lie. Some people can, but you know what? Kudos to them. But you have to do things in order to learn how to do it. So don't be too hard on yourself if your first one doesn't turn out exactly how you wanted it, okay? Just remember that everybody starts somewhere and you can totally do this. So I'm going to push down my paper as I go. And you know what? You don't have to fully cover your paper like I'm doing. You can collage over this whole thing and make a collage cover. If you're more comfortable doing it that way by piecing your paper on there, absolutely do it. Plus, hello, collaging is fun and it makes a really cool end result. So if you don't want to cover your paper or your book like I'm doing, collage on it. I also like that look. That looks fantastic. And it's quite fun. Oops, there's a little piece. All right. Okay, so now we have our cover. That looks really cute. Now you can do this a couple ways. You can put a piece of paper here in the middle and then, you know, cut this in half. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. Okay, let's cut a chunk of this off. I'm going to cut about, let's cut 3 inches. We'll see if that's enough. Well, let's go 4. We'll go 4. Okay, so I'll put that right there, and then this I'm going to cut in half, which is 8.5 by 11. So I will cut it at 5.5. So this would go here, and this would go here. It is a little too long, so I will have to cut those. Didn't think about that. So it is, how long is, that was 8.25. So I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off of this. All right, so now I'm just going to glue this stuff down. Do I still like that? Yes, okay. So I guess I'll just use my art glitter glue for this part since I have it out. You can also use fabric for this part if you'd like. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle here with a little bit on each side. Okay. And then I will glue this side. Do I want, yeah, I guess I'll just use this. I was gonna use my glue stick, but you know, I'm just too lazy for that today. At least I'm honest. At least I'm honest. All right, we'll put this one down right here. We will just get that centered on there. We have a light border all the way around. Just about 1/8 of an inch, which I love. Let me get my tool here and really push this down. Make sure we don't have any air bubbles and all that jazz. All right, repeat. Oh man, I glued this the wrong side. Well, I'm just going to do it the same on the other side. All right, here we go. What I mean by that is there was like a faded edge on, I should have put that on the outside. That's all right. That's all right. All right, get that glued on there. Press that down, and look how beautiful our book is. Just like that, you have a cover. Now, you should wait until it's dry to fold it. I folded mine, and I already cracked my paper because my paper was wet. I wasn't even thinking. I just went ahead of myself. If that happens to you, you're fine. You can glue another piece of paper over the top of this to make a decorative spine, or you can add some lace or some fabric over this. You can't even tell. I'm going to ink the edge anyways, and you will not be able to tell at all. Okay, so I just want to give this a little bend here and crease it. And then this side as well. Where is my little, there it is right here. Just kind of finding where the spine is. Okay, so step one, rubber bands. These are from the Dollar Tree. They came in a big, huge pack. I'm just going to use 3 here. There we go. Now you can put your signature in here. Let's get some paper to put in there. So now you just take your paper, slide it into the rubber band, slide it over into the spine area, and then there. Oops. Now you can just move your rubber bands around. This one's obviously twisted, so I would untwist that. But your papers, they're not coming out. So I don't even have to bind my signature together. These papers are not coming out. And then if you want, you can take out papers one by one, work on it, and then put it back in. Or if you want to add more paper, super easy to do because you can take them out and add them back in. So rubber bands are a great way. Super, super easy. Okay, so let's take these off. Oh no, where'd that go? Did I just shoot my dog with a rubber band? Did I hit you? I have no idea where that went, but it's gone. Okay, so rubber bands were our first way to connect. Our second way would be to use some elastic. Now you can get elastic thread at the Dollar Tree. I've seen it there. This is just from a craft store. It's very inexpensive. I think this one might be from Hobby Lobby, I think, or maybe it was Michael's. I don't know. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to hold your string like this. You want enough hanging here that you can tie a knot later, okay? This will be your first signature. Wrap it around. Second signature. Wrap it around. Third signature. Keep going if you want more. And if not, stop. Now I'm going to cut this to make sure that I have enough to tie with this, okay? So I'm just going to cut it way up here because that just makes it easier for me. Okay, so now you want to make sure that these are all in a row. They're not overlapping. And that they're tight enough, but not too tight that they're going to start bending your spine. But you want to make sure that they're, pull it. And you're going to take this one and put it under the other two, like that. And take this one and put it under two. And now we are going to tie these. Hold on. Now we will just tie this into a knot. And I'm pulling it kind of tight because I want my elastic to be elasticy. You know what I mean? Like I want it to hold stuff. So I'm just going to tie my knot now. Now I would tie this a few more times, but okay, now come back around. Now here are my 3 signatures. We'll just kind of spread those open a little bit. Spread those open. All right, and now you have another way to hold your signatures. Get them in there, They are not coming out. And obviously this, you can tie a bow or do whatever you want with that. So that's another way, super easy. Okay, another way to do that is to do that same technique, but with thread or like embroidery floss or whatnot. So you could do this the same exact way I just did with the elastic, or you can do it this way. So if I lay this down, I would need to make sure I have enough that I can tie an easy bow. So I'm just going to cut it right here. Now I'm going to cut 2 more the same length. So let me go do that real quick here. I'm just going to go like this. It just makes it easier for me. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to lay this down here, bringing these together. I know I need to grab this one. Sorry, that's the garbage truck out there. Okay, so you have your 3 strings on the back, and now I'm going to take this group of buttons that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'll just grab this first one. And it would be easier if you had buttons that only had 2 holes, but you know, whatever. So I'm going to put my thread through one of the holes like that, and then I will do the same on the other side. Okay, so you'll pull that through, pull these through, pull it tight, but not too tight, because you don't want your book to buckle, you know what I mean? Let's check the other side. Let's make sure that these are not going over one another here. Okay. Let's turn it back over. And then you can position this wherever you want it. I'm going to kind of position mine more towards the top. And we just tie a knot. Make sure it's nice and tight. You could have somebody come help you, put your little finger right there or something if you need to. And then you could tie a little bow if you wanted to. You know, whatever you want to do. And then hang little danglies off of it. So there's that. And now you have your 3 strings here. You can spread these out just a little bit here. There you go. And then you put your signatures in, just like you would the other ones. Nothing is falling out. All right, everyone, that is going to conclude today's video. I hope you really enjoyed learning how to make your own cover in a no-sew way. It's super fun, very easy. Lots of different ways you can do this. Honestly, my favorite method is the rubber bands. It's just easy. They look great, and you just slap them on there and you're done. So easy. I absolutely love that. I hope you got some great ideas from today's video. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. I would love it if you stuck around. Don't forget to drink your water. Have a fabulous day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends.